I'm giving you guys an update on my endo journey. I'm about 8 months post-op and I've got a lot of feelings. My name is Lance. I'm the cozy coastal girl and I share all the ways I add joy, colour and whimsy into my life because there are times when I really need it. And I document my life and share on my YouTube channel because there are times when I really need the reminder that I do have great parts of my life. So I made 2 videos, one leading up to my surgery and one after my surgery. And this is when I was just starting out on YouTube. And it was like therapeutic and it was okay, but I didn't say anything real or of substance. And that's all right. I'm proud of that version of me for having the courage to start the YouTube channel in the first place. But now I'm in a point where I want to share my story and be a bit more vulnerable with you guys, if I am so honest, because my immediate thoughts after receiving my endo diagnosis were like pretty positive and happy, and I felt so just like validated and immediately like, let's go out for dinner, and like, I've been fighting for this for 8 years, like, woohoo. And then the dust settled and I did not feel like that anymore. I got my first period after having surgery and it was so painful, and all of those feelings came rushing back, and I realized the road ahead was a long one. And that was really hard. It was really hard knowing that I finally had the diagnosis that I chased for 8 years, and just sitting with the realization that it wasn't going anywhere. This wasn't a diagnosis and a surgery that was fixed overnight. And, I scroll on my Instagram and I see all these videos from people saying that, surgery isn't the best option and it's not the best way to treat endo anymore. And if you had your endometriosis tissue burnt out instead of cut out, then that's not the best way. And that you should 100% have an IUD after surgery, or you should take the pill, or you shouldn't take the pill. And it is so overwhelming. And I think it's the most overwhelming because there is no right answer, because there is not enough research. Now, I have faith in 5 years, 10 years, that the women in STEM are going to come through and there will be amazing developments. But for right now, my current approach is, well, I'm not taking any hormonal contraception because to me, the risks far outweigh the benefits. I could be completely misguided, but that's my personal preference, is that I would kind of rather the devil I do know, and the devil I do know is pain for 2 weeks and then it's gone. I don't have all of these other scary risks, a massive sheet of paper of warnings to deal with. It's just what I know each month. It's what I've lived 8 years dealing with. I can handle that. I wish I didn't have to, but I do. Now, after my surgery, I want to say 3 months after my surgery, I still was really not feeling healed. And I'd spoken to a few people that had had the surgery around the same time as me, and they were very back on their feet, back to Pilates. And I had been back to Pilates, but it hurt. The ab exercises hurt me so much. And I just knew that I needed a bit more support. So I finally bit the bullet and I reached out to a pelvic floor physio. Always heard of them. I've heard great things, but when you're dealing with a chronic illness and advocating for yourself and trying to, find the right way forward without having any of the answers and dealing with medical misogyny and limited capacity because you are going through chronic illness, it's really, really hard to know where to put your money, your time, your energy. And so pelvic physio was just one of those things that I thought one day I'll do it. But right now I was, right at that time I was prioritizing psychology and the mental stuff and getting tools to deal with things. And that was really, really great for me. But I am so glad that I made that appointment because Amy changed my life. Changed my life in a way that I feel like my mind and my body are not so at war with each other. She didn't banish the endo, okay? They're not miracle workers like that, but she helped a lot with like the acute feelings of pain that I have when I have bowel movements and leading up to my period. So what she helped me with was using the bathroom, which sounds weird, but yeah, we don't really get taught how to use the bathroom properly. And so there are so many things that we can do to help make it easier on ourselves. Things like having our knees above our hips and having our legs wide when we sit down, just like on normal seats. Sitting like a man. So if you're sitting with your legs bunched up, sit like a man. Man spread. It's really good for your pelvic floor. And so learning things like that and knowing that I need to take Movicol or like a stool softener before my period to like reduce the load on my pelvic floor, game changer. Helped with like the chronic and acute bowel pain that I was dealing with, which I had every single day for 5 years. Every single day for 5 years, I had excruciating bowel pain. Yeah, that is the reality of endo and pelvic unexplained pelvic problems that no one really talks about. Is like, it's not just period, it is every day. So I'm so grateful that I don't have that anymore. And that is a massive testament to the work that I have done, which is learning to relax my pelvic floor and trying to calm my nervous system and not be in such a state of fight or flight. Amy helped me see that I was holding so much tension and pain. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say pain. I was holding so much like fear within my body because of the pain that I had endured, and like the response that I was used to in my body was pain and tense. And so all day I would walk around like this and I would have my bum clenched up and like everything was so tight. And so what she's helped me done is like soften and open and just not be so afraid of like my own body, which sounds so woo-woo, but like it's not. And like she's a physio and she's so knowledgeable, and like it's something that genuinely blows my mind, the knowledge of pelvic floor physios. Oh my gosh, they are so talented. They're not just like physios, they do everything. I had an internal examination and she like felt everything and it was excruciating only because of my own issues. I'm sure everyone is different. Let me tell you what the internal pelvic floor examination is like, because I'm trying to be vulnerable on here and help people have something to actually take away from my channel. Okay, so what you do is you get up on the bed and she'll obviously put gloves on. She'll put her fingers in you and she will just like check around spots and like move her fingers. And my response to like feather light touch, like soft like that, it felt like she was clawing my insides. So that was really confronting when I realized that all she was doing was touching the inside of my pelvic floor, and it felt like I was being gouged out. That was like really hard to get through, and it was like really just like emotional, the whole thing on the first day. But then when I put the things into practice and I could see results, I felt so determined to keep going. And so I'm really happy that, you know, my last examination, there were some spots where she like released them, literally like releasing your traps, like squeezing, and then when the muscle softens, releasing. That's what she did internally. Yeah, that's what my pelvic floor physio journey has been. It is expensive. I got a physio like care plan from the GP, which did subsidize some of the sessions through Medicare. So that was good. Floor physio is like top tier for me in like being helpful, and just like having a beautiful woman there that can like support you and validate you has been just like and like knows what she's talking about. So that was lovely. Now we move on to the mental portion of today. So prior to receiving my diagnosis, I obviously struggled mentally, but it was always attributed to like, oh, it's so frustrating that I don't know what's going on, and I feel so invalidated and confused and lost and like not sure. And like that's what would like really make me feel like crying in the shower on my period and sobbing and feeling alone is like the reality of it. Sobbing, crying myself to sleep for so many nights because I didn't know when this would end. I didn't know if there would ever be an end to my pain, if it would ever be explained, and like what the long-term effects of that would be. I could never see like the light at the end of the tunnel because I never had that diagnosis. So when I did get that diagnosis, I truly thought that all of those feelings would go away. And then they didn't, which made them feel even darker and even worse because my pain is still here. But now that I know what it is, it felt and does feel like really heavy knowing that there's like not a simple solution, knowing that this is something that I'm going to have to carry and advocate for the rest of my life. And that can be really scary, and you can feel really alone, even if you have like supportive friends and family and people around you. It's like a really sad feeling knowing that like something's happening in your body that you can't control, and you wonder why it's happening, and you don't know because it hasn't been studied that much, so no one can give you the answers. So that's hard. So sometimes you blame yourself. And then I went through a period after having surgery of just like being so emotional and breaking down because I realized that I was able to give myself compassion or empathy for what I was going through because I never like had a label for it. So I always would tell myself that I was being lazy or that I was unmotivated, or that I just would overcommit to things, when in reality I just am operating at like a limited capacity physically and mentally for a portion of the month. I never gave myself the grace of that. Like I would commit to like a full load of uni subjects and then be unable to keep up with the course load and then just not complete the subjects. Wouldn't drop them from the census date because I just kept saying I should be able to do this, I should be able to do them. So now I have a really lovely HEX debt racked up because I could never give myself compassion and grace that like it's okay to not be operating at 110% hustle culture, grind culture. Really hard returning to uni. Well, actually, I was at uni and then I had the surgery, and so that was like really emotional for me. I got a high distinction in that subject, so I'm really proud of myself. But yeah, it's just been like a whole like series of like unlearning things that I like thought about myself and like trying to come up with like new ways to approach things and like new mindsets. But that hasn't been the easiest because I have been dealing with symptoms of pmdd, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And now I haven't been like diagnosed with it, but I'm ticking a lot of the boxes. And so what that means is like a week before my period, roughly 10 days, 2 weeks, depends if I'm lucky or not, I feel like a shell of myself. And that's not fun. I feel like everything feels like hard work. I feel like unmotivated. Like I want to delete the YouTube channel. I want to delete everything. I've got to break up with my boyfriend. I've got to drop out of uni. Like, what am I doing? I question everything. Like, I feel like the brightness on my life has just like been turned all the way down. And like when I'm at events and like surrounded by people or at a dinner with people that I love, I kind of feel like I'm sitting in a bubble, like observing everyone. Like I'm not like participating in my life. I just feel like I'm there, but I'm not really there. And it's like really hard for me in those moments to like connect the dots from like you're feeling like this because this is what happens before your period. I literally cannot for the life of me connect those dots when I'm feeling like that. And it's not until either my period comes or my period is like almost over that this like fog starts to clear. It is like, what is that Taylor Swift song? And she goes, the world was in black and white, but we were in screaming color. That's how it feels. It feels like the world was in black and white and now it's in screaming color. That's the juxtaposition. Those moments, it's like the fog is lifting. I'll text my friends back. I will go do the things that I love again. I will go roller skating. I will start thinking creatively again. And I go, actually, I have all these ideas for the YouTube channel. But then by the time I go to execute them, I'm back in that place again. So that has been like super hard to navigate, is like working on this like 2 weekly 2 versions of myself. It's like mental gymnastics. So yeah, I thought I would share that. Little bit vulnerable. I hope that if someone around you is like dealing with pelvic pain, or you are dealing with pelvic pain problems, most likely endo, if you are dealing with the mental side of things with pmdd, pms, or like you just feel like not the best version of yourself and you feel like there's like some external reasons, I beg you, I implore you to go and speak to people that can help you. Psychologist. Go see a psychologist. Go see a pelvic floor physio. Find a great GP that like is passionate and will help you. I have this man, he's a bit of a short king, and he just listens to me and he's great. Like anything I ask, he's just like, yep, like we'll get a blood test. Yep, we'll do an iron infusion. What is something that I wish I would have known after having surgery? Oh, take Movicol. Take Movicol before your surgery. If you are having surgery for endo, or like any laparoscopic surgery, gynecological, just take some Movicol, please. That first bowel movement, and like, oh my god, it is excruciating. Oh my god. No one warned me. No one warned me about the first bowel movement. It was crazy. Oh my gosh, I went back to work a week after my surgery. That was insane. That was insane behavior. I didn't believe that the results from the surgery were going to be that I had endo, because I have been conditioned to believe that like there's nothing wrong with me and that I'm like making it up. I probably should have waited 2 weeks until I got the results, but I didn't really. I ended up going back to work and then like just kind of like doing a couple days on and off and like seeing how I felt. It's hard to rest from a surgery. This is what I will say. It's really hard to rest and recover from a surgery when you don't know what they did to you during the surgery. Sorry. That really took me by surprise. Having a surgery and then not knowing what they did for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. My mum was actually like one of the nurses in the hospital, and even she couldn't tell me. I mean, I had a sneaky suspicion because of how much pain I was in. Like, it was crazy. But that's the thing. I'm sitting there going, is this pain that I'm in normal because I'm recovering from having endo removed? Or was the surgery like a normal investigative laparoscopy and they didn't find anything and I'm in pain because something has gone wrong? Didn't know for 2 weeks. So that was like really weird to wrap my head around. Oh, something else I really struggled with after surgery was being in pain. So you take painkillers that they give you, which is like, oh, endone. That's what I had, endone. And look, endone is like a little bit fun for like 15 minutes. You're like, whoa, head rush, feel a little bit high, this is funny. It's not fun when for a full week you feel so groggy, you can't watch a movie to distract you, you can't read a book, you don't scroll on your phone, like you can't really hold a conversation. can't drive the car. I tried going for a walk and I felt dizzy on the walk and I had to sit down. Like literally everything that makes me feel good, feels better, soothes me, is like my comfort things. I couldn't do them. That was really, really hard and I did not anticipate that. I don't think there's a solution to that, but it's just like I wish I would have known. It's not a holiday. You're not just going to be at home watching movies. Like everything is an effort. Like getting up from the lounge to go to the toilet felt like a full-scale operation. Yeah, I'm like reflecting on it now going, oh my god, that was a lot. It's not just like a little tiny surgery. Like for me, like the mental and the physical recovery was a lot. And that's okay. And so I hope that if you're going through this or something similar or someone that you love is, first of all, just go give them a big hug. It's like hard unless other people understand, and like you don't want to like minimize what other people are going through. Like if someone says like, my period is really bad, and you're sitting there like, oh, if only you knew. Okay, but like the endo girlies, oh my gosh, we get it. I've obviously like my whole algorithm is just like the endo girlies, and I saw a few people that have mobility aids, so they have like a walking cane or they have like a walking frame. And at first I was like, that seems so dramatic. And then I think about all the times that when I'm in like debilitating pain and I'm like clutching onto the wall, clutching onto railings to help me walk, and like my left leg goes limp from like the nerves that are being compressed. Don't know what that's about. But like seeing all of this, it's made me realize like this is serious and it's not some little thing that needs to be minimized because it's associated with periods. Like this is a really serious health condition. And while I'm not trying to like scare myself and like be fearful of it, it's like I think it really needs to be taken seriously, and I don't just want to be like endo warrior, like yellow love heart. No, I think people need to talk about it really seriously and honestly, which is really hard to do. A paper about like the correlation between endo and celiac disease. So I got tested for celiac. Well, I got the blood test. And so 98.9% sure that I don't have celiac. So that's lovely. At least I can still eat bread and pasta. Although until it is definitively proven that not eating gluten genuinely helps endo, I'm not cutting it out. Sorry. So I don't have celiac, so I'm gonna continue to eat gluten. I'm trying to eat a balanced diet, but I'm a real person at the end of the day. I don't drink alcohol. I feel like that's probably better than not eating bread. Don't drink alcohol anymore, so that's got to be helpful. Where I'm at when I get my period currently is I take naprogesic and Panadol to help with the pain. I've got a heat pack. I have magnesium tablets that I take. I have a magnesium rub that I put on my tummy and my back. I have magnesium baths. I do my pelvic floor physio exercises. I relax my jaw to relax my pelvic floor because the two are very linked. I try and be like really gentle and do yoga and like really gentle mobility stuff leading up to my period. Oh, I really try and schedule my days off around the start of my period if I can, where I'm like really transparent to my boss. And I'll be like, hey, got my period. Not much is happening today. Like, yeah, she knows not to expect much from me when I have my period. And I'm a barista. That's my day job. And I say, I'm going to be sitting on the stool in the downtime. Okay? I'm not deep cleaning the freezer today, Chook. It's not happening. The boyfriend is a saint for knowing when I'm feeling like out of control of like my responses to things. Maybe like steering me to be like, hey, is your period coming? And then I go, oh my god, it is. Yep. Sorry for being a little bit crazy. But not too sorry, because maybe if men studied the female body, then we wouldn't be in this situation. So that's where I'm gonna leave that. If you like this video, if you liked my more honest yapping content style, then I would love for you to let me know. And sending so much love, holding all the space if you do have endo, if you don't know what's going on in your body, if you have other chronic illnesses. I'm here for you. Join the sisterhood. So much for watching my video. If you stayed all the way till the end, thank you. You can subscribe to stay and ride this way with me. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah.